everyone. Happy New Year. Um, well, welcome to, I am so thrilled and honored and pleased to welcome you. First of all, my name is Afton Battle, General Director of Fort Worth Opera, and it is my extreme pleasure to welcome you all to our Music Speaks series. This is a great joy to be able to share this with you and to share these three wonderful musicians and collaborators in our industry through this great platform. So welcome to today's first installment of Music Speaks here in the Green Room. And I would just like to kick it off and introduce our collaborator and clinician for the afternoon. Miss Lucy Yates is a wonderful pianist, conductor, librettist, and Italian grammar and poetry teacher and lecturer in opera. She is beloved in our industry, and I have not worked with her personally, but all of my colleagues who have tremendous and brilliant things to say about her. And so it is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome her and to have her be able to share her resources, her talents, her knowledge with all of us, and especially our wonderful, wonderful participants for today's lecture series. So I will turn it over to Lucy. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all the rest of the month and into February.
Thank you, Afton, mia regina. Grazie. Io baci e abbracci. Allora, io comincio in italiano e poi andiamo avanti in inglese, va bene? Buon anno a tutti e grazie dal cuore a Fort Worth Opera per la vostra iniziativa, per il vostro invito, per tutte le attività che voi avete promosse in questo periodo così difficile, così triste, così violento, così malato, no? Con tutto questo, in cuore, sono grata e più grata per questo momento, per questa opportunità, per stare insieme. So I'm going to go ahead in English, but what I said was, in a moment like this, it's an even greater gift, especially in a moment after yesterday. Let's just get the elephant out of the room. To be able to be together and to be making beautiful music together. And it's an even greater gift to have all of you whom I can see in little postage stamps at the top of the screen to be giving your time, your talent, your gift, and your faith in our ability to do something beautiful from far, far away. So that is my further ado, and I will now introduce my teaching assistant, Leander Rajan, because if you work with me, you get child labor. That's how it goes in this house. Leo is going to help us introduce.
It's a 90 to 10 split, don't worry.
It's a 90-10 split, faux show. So we, I lied. I'm already going back to Italian. Theme verbs for the day. Contare. Who can tell me what contare means? Can you guys talk? Are you all mute? You're all mute. You have nothing to say. Contare. What does it mean? What does it mean, child?
I don't know.
To count. It means to count. Contare. All right. Like count on me, or like right, to count. Raccontare means to recount. It means recount in every sense. For us on stage, it means to tell a story. Un racconto is a story. It's something that you tell because you're counting your experience again. So with that in mind, I want to introduce a third verb, which is compitare, which is my greatest pleasure in life, because as a child, when I was his age, the best thing I did, the place I felt most found, was in the spelling bee. Confessions of a Nerd. But I loved the sense of order and the sense of discovery, of putting the letters in order, of spelling. And spelling in a lot of ways has saved my life. So if you have, as I have had, because I made my living as a singer for most of this time, in various languages, but mostly in English and mostly in Italian. If you, as I have, accepted the massive and dazzling and slightly absurd assignment, which is a compito, which comes from compitare, if you have accepted the assignment of basically delivering European culture back to itself in the languages in which your repertoire was written, i.e. in the original language, not in translation, you know that if you'd rather have the audience depend on you and not the titles they can read above your head, you are going to have to count and recount your relationship with the languages in which you sing, right? None of us has the time in the years of a career that we're going to have to become fluent in all of these. But I'm hoping that I can give you some tools specifically for counting and recounting the poetry of Italian, because, surprise, all of the operas you sing are poems. Okay, with that, what time are we? 13. I will call my assistant to perform the Lego trick. I will share my screen. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I have tabs. I have tabs open. I have tried to close. I'm not going to share it yet. I have tried to close as many as I could.
I've counted and recounted, and every day
I've
there's
counted
more
and
more.
recounted the tabs, and there
every
are
day
so
there's more
many.
and more and more. She should just bookmark all of her pages and close the tabs.
So I'll just go, oh, now I seem to have lost my doc. Let me open it up again. I want to show you something that's inside the document that you have received if you have clicked the link on the website for this series. It is not that. It is. Nope. Okay, no. Sorry. I just want to be able to show you exactly the thing that you are looking at. I know I'm not sharing my screen. I don't want to share everything until I can see it. Where did it go? We're sharing a different screen. Are we sharing my screen? No, I don't think so. Somebody's got a Spanish screen that they're sharing. Sorry. I don't know how to get rid of it. Okay. Oh, Ryan, is that you? What I think I can do. All right, I'm looking at it here. You know what? I'm just going to share it from here. This is what I'm going to do. It went out for some reason. And then I'm going to put this. I'm going to see if you guys can see. This is another doc that I'm going to make a little bit bigger. Can you guys see this? Can everybody see what I have? No, you don't see it. This is telling me I'm sharing a screen. All right, forget the screen. We have the child. The child is going to show you how to count. All right, ready? And we're just going to run this through because we're going to revisit it with each piece that is sung today, because each singer has chosen, this fantastic rep coming at you, each person has chosen a piece of Italian poetry, believe it or not, that will conform to this same rule. Leo, take it away. He's going to quote for you. He's going to show you the model.
Which one?
Show it in the camera. Yes, this is our Lego model. Can everybody see our Lego model? Okay, this is our favorite new toy. Can you see how many studs there are on each Lego? Can anybody who is unmuted tell me how many studs are on the red Lego? No one. Contate, ragazzi, vi prego. I don't hear anybody.
7.
Thank you. Was that Elizabeth?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, what about the 5? I just did it. The white one. How many on the white one? Yes, was that Sophie? Okay, thank you. Right? We have 7 and we have 5. What do you see in the middle between the 7 and the 5? It's like a seam, right? Yeah. They overlap a little bit. Okay. If you have this pattern in a line of poetry in English, assuming that each stud on the block counts as 1 syllable, this is like, to me, this is ADD heaven. I can put my finger on the bump and know how many sounds I'm going to make. There are certain rules that condition this counting, of course, but the basic pattern is 7, 5. What happens when you do your English line? Can you show them?
Sure.
Okay, Leo's going to show you how this works in blank verse, i.e. iambic pentameter in English.
To be or not to be. Wait.
Yeah, you got it.
To
do it so they can see
be-
you. You're more
To
interesting.
be. Really?
Yeah.
To be or not to be.
Yeah.
That is the question.
Correct. Did everybody understand what he did? He counted. This is why I was trying to find the poetry doc. You will see the poetry doc, which Ryan has graciously affixed to the Fort Worth Opera website. There's a page that has this Lego diagram, the model on it. And that was why I was trying to show you from the page and from the model. But what you will see is an explanation of blank verse as a compound, because it's so long. This line of poetry is so long, you kind of need to take a breath in the middle, right? So it falls into 2 slightly asymmetrical halves with what's called a cesura in Italiano, right? Some kind of a seam or a join or like a fold, right? In the middle. Okay, so if the big part comes first, you have Hamlet. You have to be or not to be. We've used up 6 syllables of that 7, and we've joined down to where this next thing can start. That's where his finger is. That is the question. That is the question. So you see how it's a 7 plus 5 that overlap ever so slightly, overlap by 1. What happens when you do it the other way and you hear the shorter chunk before the longer chunk? Remember?
I know.
Okay, he knows. They're not in school this week. This is the only academic exercise they get.
A thing of beauty. Wait, thing of beauty is a joy forever.
Correct. Can everybody count that out? A thing of beauty. So you have your accent on 4 out of 5, but that's a 5. That's like that little white block. A thing of beauty is, now we've already used this one. If we've taken all 5, a thing of beauty, I'm going to drop down, is a joy forever. Ever. Unfortunately, in our languages, many terms are still gendered. So in English, this is still called a feminine ending when you have strong, stressed, unstressed. Okay, but blank verse with a feminine ending, iambic pentameter, has 11 syllables. Thank you.
I disappear now.
You disappear now. Thank you very much. Your ice cream is waiting. So if this is blank verse in English, blank verse is blank verse no matter what language you're using. So blank verse is also, so I'm going to not bother to share right now. I'm going to come back. Okay. So not, I just lost my train of thought when I shut that. But this pattern defines all of Italian verse as well as all of English verse. So this is why I wanted to say this kind of once at the beginning, so I don't say it to each person as we're looking at your text. If you have the first line of the Divine Comedy. You have in mezzo del cammin di nostra vita. It follows the same pattern. I thought you left the butter in the freezer, right? This pattern is ubiquitous. When you see, for example, a page of recitative in the Marriage of Figaro, if you have, Cherubino takes the ribbon, right? O caro bello, no, I need to go this way. O caro bello, o fortunato nastro. Do you see how that's falling into the same pattern? Or when Susanna says, devieni non no, it's gonna be this one. Devieni non tardar, o gioia bella. Yeah, you suddenly see how, almost everything you know can be reduced to this very simple counting pattern that, because it is slightly asymmetrical, is going to show you a larger part and then a smaller part, or the smaller part and then the larger part. And you're going to see vowels that fuse together. You're going to see punctuation. You're going to see different stuff at this point. But you're basically dealing with these two components all the time. That defines the way that recitative is written. And the settenario, I haven't used these terms yet, but this whole thing is called an endecasillabo. Deca is 10, endeca is like 11, 11. Syllabo is a syllable. So this is an endecasillabo, but you have to remember that you're looking at a long line with two components, one of which is called the settenario, 7 syllables, and one of which is the quinario, cinque, 15, 5 syllables. And it's because of the fusion that 7 plus 5 does not equal 12, it actually equals 11. But yeah, the endecasillabo is, as the blank verse line is in Shakespeare, the governing block, composite block of everything. Also, when we are able to see the poetry doc, in which I would love for you all to participate, because the games are nerdy but fun, and we can really, really play together. Like Vicky can propose a line. I thought you said, and then I could finish the line, that I was coming later. Do you know what I mean? You can actually write dialogue on top of each other. And that's why when this is in, when everyone has editing access, we can all actually do it together. But yeah, you'll see in that, in some of those diagrams, how this is gonna work. When you get into musical numbers, no, let me say one more thing about this before I go to musical numbers, and then we're gonna sing. When you see it in the doc, you will see yellow highlighting over, Darius, I see you laughing. You will see a highlight mark, a yellow mark over the 4th syllable out of 5 and over the 6th syllable out of 10, which will also be, one of which will also be the 10th syllable out of 11. Why? Because I promise we're gonna sing. I'm not gonna do class all day. I'm gonna find, okay, there's a random page of recit in the Marriage of Figaro. Tenete e da legarli braccio. Okay, that doesn't make sense. E da legarli braccio un altro nastro. Okay, that's definitely a line of, that's an endecasillabo. You're gonna find that every composer from Cavalli, mettiamo, Cavalli, to Verdi is gonna do this in recit. They are required to write. The poet is required to write in these endecasillabi with these settenari and quinari. The composer is required to reflect that structure on the page. That is why your Mozart recit looks like salt and pepper. Got it? He is required to show you e da legargli il braccio. We're back to the ribbon. Is it for tying his arm up? E da legargli il braccio. That's 7 syllables. Mozart has to write some kind of a rest before that and some kind of a rest after that to show you that's what that is. Okay? Does everybody chat to me or something if you don't understand how that works? But the further, like the concomitant application of that is that when you know do you hear where the appoggiature are starting to come? They come on the 4th syllable out of 5 and the 6th syllable out of 7. Buonanotte. Okay, you're gonna hear a lot more about this from Rochelle because it's the favorite thing. But right, but that's why I have to nerd out a little bit at the beginning so that you can see where we're working from if we're dealing with recit. We're not dealing with a whole lot of recit today, but if anybody is bringing Handel or Mozart or Rossini, anche Verdi, cioè anche la Traviata, anche Rigoletto, anche Trovatore, all of this stuff works the same way. So once you figure out that, Julia, what? I always call it the bulk discount. Like once I get that mechanism working, I have so much, again, it's like as a person with some learning challenges myself, if anytime I can see a way to count, contare, raccontare, right? If I can see how that works on the page and I can see something that I can apply every time, my learning is so much easier. Yeah. Every time I see it, it's going to work the same. That's why this tradition, I'm always telling people Italian opera design is like a Dolce & Gabbana dress. Like it's going to be black lace, whether you're 16 or 96, right? It's basically the same. We don't, il cambiamento è lento. All right. Now I'm going to stop sharing because I think we're hearing from Megan first. Giusto, Megan? There you are. Okay. So I can see you bigger than me. I can leave you, right? Is that you?
Hello.
No. Are you? Oh, I'm Megan.
I'm Darius today.
There you are. Ciao, bella. Okay.
Hi.
Are you going to sing me Regnava? I'm so excited.
Yes, I am.
Yes,
I am.
Okay. Bello. Okay. You sing and then we'll talk.
Okay. My name is Megan Koch, and I will be singing Regnava from Lucia today. And yeah.
Tell us what's happening for those who haven't seen Lucia.
Oh,
I don't
I
know
see.
who's here. I don't
Sorry.
know.
Yeah. So Lucia in this scene is looking for Edgardo, but then while she's there in that meeting spot with him or for him, waiting for him, she is recounting a tale of like what happened to people kind of in her situation maybe before, not really sure if it's like a myth or like real history.
Yeah.
But essentially the girl in the relationship perished in the fountain and the match didn't work between the families because it's kind of Romeo and Juliet kind of, between the families.
Mm-hmm.
So the previous two that tried this, it didn't work out. They died. So
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
Yeah. Bello, brava. Okay. Thank you.
I could go on, but
I know, right? Ghost. Esatto. Dai. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be like my son's piano teacher, be like, everyone unmute and applaud. Bravissima, bravissima.
Yeah.
Beautiful, what a beautiful voice you have. My God.
Thank you so much.
Woo, okay. Bella voce, bel legato. You sing with excellent legato.
Thank you.
Wow, so good. So many good things to say. So 11 minutes to say them. Okay. Yes, I have sworn to have you recite, and normally I make people recite before they sing. I just wanted to get to the races today and like get started without doing it, but we'll do it in a minute. But first, let's just talk about the singing. Just beautiful performance, beautiful sound, beautiful characterization. Loved it. And I know you've done the role too, so that it has to be fun to relive it even in a small room. Yeah.
It's almost hard to bring it back now, like it's harder to bring it back to like I'm this much of a camera. So
totally. But you're using your voice. It doesn't feel to me like you're squinching, right?
Yeah. Right,
Good.
right. Mm-hmm.
Good. Can I just like throw a couple of buckshot vocal things and then do a couple of text?
Yes, please.
Can you where's the page? When you come down to, I love your use of chest. And I hope everyone else does too. Brava. This is how it's done. Can you play with the color? To what degree can you play with the color of that?
Still working on it, but yes.
Okay.
We can
Love
try.
that you want to go there. Like,
yeah.
When you're on your D's and your C sharps, I'm just wondering if you can get a little more depth or darkness, or altitude, or whatever you want to call it. Right? So if you are, I don't know why I'm not turning to the right page in the aria, but if you are Amiro Sergio, wait, no. I want to look at those for 1 second, and I also want to look at the chromatic turns just to see how we can get you kind of right.
Great.
Ratchet that. Will you just do and then and let me hear what that's doing?
Okay. Yep. Is this?
I don't care. You can just if you want to launch the phrase.
Yeah. It's a little scary.
I'm so excited about that. Yes. Here are my like capsule prescriptions for that. When you start it, mine's gonna sound old and wobbly and not very warmed up, but a big part of cherishing and relishing our liquids and nasals, our L's and M's and N's, is realizing that in many, many cases, in any case in which you, I don't know why I'm yelling into my mic, which is right here. In any case in which you can sustain a consonant, if that consonant is doubled, especially if it is voiced, then that consonant is your portamento, right?
Okay. Yeah.
If you're singing Elonda, in the case of the rising sixth, on the L, since the L follows a word that requires the doubling of the subsequent consonant, in Italian, we usually say Elonda. There's a little extra L for those of you who are not used to doing it. You beautifully made the L, the portamento itself, up the sixth, right? But then when you're coming down, Elonda, that's an awfully wide whole step, and the N creates the portamento of that whole step. So even setting the phrase up like that is going to allow you to come down clearly. Yeah. It's like in defining the letters, you sort of start defining the pitches even more. And then when you come back, you want to, this is why I say capsule, I'm like packing a lot into just this phrase in case it's all we have time to do. You're remembering that's your tonic, right? We're in right? because when you come down, it's got to be like, oh my God, the fountain was filled with blood, right? You have to give that impression. You have to give us all of that shock of that. And that hinges on having that tonic be as clear in the first measure. Every time it recurs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's going to let you come down and get that chest voice really out when you get to the bottom D. And then they tune together. Sorry,
Okay.
Show me even a little undertone of what that looks like.
Elonda again, or?
Yeah, elonda. Yeah. Brava. I'm sorry, I played a chord and then because I was making noise on Zoom, it cut. I couldn't hear exactly what you did. Just sing those notes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. It's hard out of context.
Right? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This is another thing I talk about a lot about spotting. Like if you have a pitch that recurs in a phrase, it may be in different contexts, maybe in the middle of a turn, or it may be held somewhere else. But if you make sure that that's ringing the same each time you pass it, it's like the ballerina doing pirouettes and looking at the same spot on the wall. Yeah. Try that one more time. Okay, now you have big fat portamenti. Di.
Okay.
Right, and then it totally pops into tune. Now let me see what the chest note sounds like when you get to the bottom.
Okay.
Were you a belter? You weren't a belter. What if the vowels are, what would your teacher say? Taller, darker? A lot of people are afraid to talk about a dark vowel. They're going to fall backwards. I don't want you to fall backwards.
Probably a little bit forward, brighter.
Brighter, interesting. Okay, I hear a tiny bit sound when I want to right? Yeah.
Okay.
Just do D, sa. Let me hear that. Oh. Here, try this. On the A, and pull it up. Ooh, this is really interesting. What if it's like our teacher, the immortal Will Crutchfield, always says, Rochelle and I both have studied and worked a lot with Will, and he would always say, as in the English word jaw, and he would always say it was such a dark vowel that we would cringe, but it's try more aw. You can start from an O if you want. I love that one. How's that feel?
That feels good.
Yeah. Too dark, too bright, too nothing.
No, just a little walking the line a little bit. Not sure how I can, it just feels very precise, but.
Good.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's a good thing. Great exercise for that is a simple right, so you can feel it right down on your
okay.
sternum. Yeah. And then, of course, it takes a while to incorporate that back from the F sharp above.
Right.
But at least you're not connecting on a vowel. And you can just change.
Okay.
Do we want to do one last time elonda and just show me that? Yes, brava.
That felt better. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the little ornament, the little decoration in sangue is the same as The one you're gonna have later. Oh yeah, no. Right? When you have those little things, you want to make sure that those are super tuned. I kind of want to keep you on sangue for one more second and then look at the text for literally 2 minutes. Can you let me hear that? Sangue.
Yeah, tell me again. Sangue?
I want to hear how it tunes. I basically want to hear how this. Yeah. I just want
Sorry,
to hear,
what?
in the same way that I want to hear how the D, the tonic, tunes out in the whole phrase, I want to hear how the dominant A tunes out in the whole phrase. Right?
Okay. So starting sangue on the low.
Actually, look, when I was learning this role, this is what I did to myself. I don't know if you can see that. But I had to get it in tune, I had to circle all the A's. I circled all the A's. It was like before you were born. But like I had to go like, because that was the way, it was the only way I could figure out how to tune it perfectly. Right? So I feel like I feel like you're right there to do it. Yeah?
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? That. Then you're like that much more centered. And it, it helps the storytelling, because we see you. Yeah. Right. Vicky just wrote a great argument for studying theory. Yeah. I mean, the basic thing that we're trying to do in this music and all of Barocco bel canto, that whole couple hundred years there, is that it's so highly ornamented that sometimes we forget what the skeleton actually is. And you just have to go back and find 1 and 5 and 1 and 5 and 1 and 5 for whatever key you're in and figure out how that registration, is working in your voice. Oh, I've already gone over time. We didn't even do the text. Megan, I love your voice and I just want to hear more. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Short, yeah, but it's beautiful. Your B is easy. Your C is easy. All of it, it's in great shape. It's in great shape. That would be the thing I would say, just to keep that beautiful legato spinning and investigate the ways that can, that informs the ornamentation and really, really makes it sparkle by being perfect.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Brava. Yes, as we're switching over, I want to say one quick thing. I think we have Darius next. Is that right? Can you guys see if I'm sharing? I'm going to go over here. No, that's Madeleine's text. Hang on 1 second. Nope, that's Mozart. Ecco. Aspetta. Aha. Vedete? Regnava nel silenzio alta la notte bruna, colpì alla fonte un pallido raggio di tetraluna. If I had had Megan for a whole hour, she would have started by declaiming this. I want to show you a little detail, and Megan, I meant to say at the beginning, regnava nel, we go silenzio, but we should go silenzio. Why? Regnava nel silenzio alta la notte bruna, colpì la fonte un pallido raggio di tetraluna, quando sommesso gemito fra l'auleo dirsi fe, ed ecco su quel margine l'ombra mostrarsi a me. Those are settenari, sdruccioli, followed by settenari piani, followed by settenari tronchi. You have a bum, which is like a dactyl, right? There's an extra syllable. And Camarano has made that explicit in the rest of the text. So for anybody who's ever wondered about it, just know that the right way to do it is to take the extra note that Donizetti gave you and sing silenzio. Because that, when it's most properly written, this letter I has 2 dots over it. It's called a diaresis. The more you know. But that's your text there. And then Darius is about to sing another top 10 hit. And I'm gonna, where did I put it? There it is. Darius, do you want to sing first or do you want to read me this first? I'll give you the choice. What do you think? Are you muted? There you are.
Awesome.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to hear you. Do you want to read first? Or you want to sing first? Poor Megan didn't get the choice.
I would like to
We'll
read.
go ahead and sing.
That'll be my warm up.
Huh? Oh, you want to read? Great.
It'll be a nice warm up.
Perfect. I love it. Okay, so here is. I was going to put all this into another Google Doc, and then I was like, no, look at the original. It's amazing. This is this phenomenal libretto from, what is it, 1924 is the year of the opera, in this beautiful Art Nouveau font from Ricordi. And right? Isn't it gorgeous? And we get to see, this is another thing I want to give you guys at some point. Now I just lost your aria. There you are. There are strategies you can follow for the best way to find the best quality version of your libretto. Because a lot of times if you find the kind of like first level stuff that's online, it is not going to give you the right format. It's going to give you wrong spacing and indentation, and it's not what the poet actually wrote. So even if you don't speak the language and you're going to eventually need a translation, the best thing to do is go back and get a version, an edition, because you probably won't find a manuscript. It's always going to be printed. But to get an edition of the libretto that is as close to opening night as you can get. And this one's pretty close. And we're going to see that Adami, and I think he was writing with Ilika on this one, uses some fascinating line lengths that can help you form your character, you know? It isn't anything that the audience may ever see, right? They may never look at this the way they used to, but you will know, nessun dorma tu pure o principessa. Nessun dorma tu pure o principessa. I'm not kidding. Right?
It works.
Us? Is that
Can I have a Lego?
Huh? I know you want. Here's the Lego.
I'm a learner.
I love it.
Sorry. Are you ready for me to recite?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Nessun dorma. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza. Guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Sorry, I had...
Bravo. Bravissimo. I wish it were brighter.
Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me. Il nome mio nessun saprà. No. This is solo. It's different text. Solo instead of no.
Puccini. No is Puccini. This is Adami. Yeah.
No, dame.
Yeah, no. I just
fantastic. Solo quando la luce splenderà sulla tua it's a different word.
Sulla tua bocca.
Bocca lo dirò. Framenti. Okay.
Yeah.
Framente, sorry. Oh Lord Jesus.
Così.
Ed il mio bacio scioglierà il silenzio che ti fa mia.
Mamma mia. E poi il nome suo nessun saprà e noi dovremo, ahimè, morir.
Di legua notte tramontate o stelle all'alba vincerò.
Yes. And look at this, guys. The prince says, all'alba vincerò, and they go morir. It is the same.
So it ends, wow.
All'alba no, it's the big one. All'alba vincerò, morir. Because these are the stressed syllables, I can leave off those syllables. It doesn't matter, right? All'alba vincerò, morir. So they finish your line because they know you're going to win. They know you're going to win. Yeah. And it's so fascinating. The two shortest lines, the two quinari that stay by themselves. This is why I love this, because even if you're not a poetry specialist, you can see that the line is shorter on guardi le stelle. She looks at the stars. When is the next short line? Che ti fa mia. Right? The silence that makes you mine. So there's one line, even if you're doing just the quickest visual scan, you see that she is looking away, but he is coming to her, right? Or she's expecting her to look to him eventually. You know, so there's all kinds of pleasures to be had in looking at the text by itself. Yeah, bello. I love how you read it. Did you find, as you were reading, that anything changed in your accentuation?
Yes, I should be reading it more because I realized I've been using my jaw too much, especially on those double L's.
Okay.
And so just that I noticed for sure. I know that's slight, but I will try to do it differently. And then my stressing. So I've just been focusing on singing a good line and just good sounds. And so this really makes me really. I think it's going to be different when I sing it this time. I'm sorry. I don't know what this is.
No, it's not sorry. I mean, the thing is, most of us do this for years and years and years, if we ever start looking at the spread. But going back, it's literally like taking the clothes off and finding the like, what are the bones of this piece? You know, because the music is really like clothing, and you can think someone looks totally different if they're wearing a certain kind of clothing, right? So once you look at what the poet just laid down on the page, you're like, oh, that accent isn't, whether it's se vuol ballare, nobody says that, se vuol ballare, right? The accents fall slightly. The play of rhythm and meter is always surprising when you go back and look at just the text. So good for you for doing that in public. All right, I'm not sharing it now. I can see you guys.
Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Ma il mio mistero è chiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sulla tua manca dirò, quando la luce ed il mio bacio scioglierò il silenzio che ti fa mia.
Unmute and applaud. Vincerai! Bravo! Fantastico.
I've had the pleasure of being one of the three characters, and many people don't know that after Nessun Dorma, those three characters like jump on his applause.
Yes.
And so I remember fighting the tenor. It's kind of funny. Sorry, it's funny.
That's perfect.
I'm a nerd.
It's your applause today. Bravissimo. This is beautiful. Listen, it's just the prince has the patience to wait out all her stuff, right? It's about patience for him. I think in a little way, I want to see how much it's about patience for you. Just in the way you balance gesture and line. That sounds really vague. Show me, brava orchestra, by the way. I just want to say this is magnificent playing from someone we cannot see. But we want to say thank you.
She's behind the full screen, you guys. She's protected.
Pay no attention to the genius behind the screen. Oh, she's fabulous. Thank you. We can't see you, but we can hear you, and we appreciate it very much. No, it's beautiful. So since you have a live person who's willing to stop and start with you, can you show us? I kind of want to. Which is the line? Il silenzio che ti fa mia. It's kind of midway through.
Yes, it's the return. So,
what if maybe we stop and start? Do we just start and can I stop you?
Yes. So, would you like to start the second return of that theme? Il mio bacio scioglierà.
Il mio bacio scioglierà. Sì, esatto. Can you answer me something first? No, because I want to hear Guardi le stelle too. Who's trembling with love?
Well, I'm saying that she is. Or she.
No. Watch this. I wondered about this. Guarda un po'. Nessun dorma. Can anybody tell me what? I'm not going down a grammar rabbit hole, but Darius, you tell me first. What kind of verb is this? Like, God forbid anyone doesn't know this aria. What are you saying to them?
To sleep, or wait,
yes, dormire is absolutely the verb to sleep, but what form of the verb are you using?
What's it called? This normal tense?
It's who knows it? Madeleine, I see you down there. I know you know it. Bye.
Nessun dorma.
Imperative.
Like an imperative. If you were saying nessun dorme, that would be the indicative. You'd be saying nobody is sleeping right now. But if you say nessun dorma, that's the congiuntivo. Mm-hmm. That's like it's the subjunctive. It's when we say thy will be done, or far be it from me. So it's let no one sleep. You want everybody to stay up all night. Right? Because she's going to be watching the stars all night. You want this whole thing to happen so that you can.
Yes. So no one.
Right.
Let no one sleep.
Let no one sleep. Let no one sleep. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza guardi. Here's your next verb, right? What are you saying?
Yes.
You know how.
Plural. I mean, with the stars.
Yes. So you are watching the stars. Tu guardi. You are watching.
Yes.
And it's not an imperative. You're not telling her to watch the stars. That would be tu guarda. No,
yes.
Tu guardi le stelle. So you're describing something she's doing. And then le stelle che tremano. It should be tremano. I'm too old to see it. Yeah, that's an A. Che tremano d'amore e di speranza. And they get their own full endecasillabo. They get their own full line. You watch the stars which tremble with love and with hope. So the stars are trembling.
Okay.
That's why when you said it, you said it in a very sexy way, but I was like, it looks like he's telling her she's trembling, but she's not. Right? Start again, I guess. Let's just start from the beginning and see if that changes anything.
Okay.
The
very beginning. Okay. Thank you. Nessun dorma. Nessun dorma. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza.
Can I stop you right there just to say bravo? How'd that feel?
It felt very different.
So good. It's so good. It just spit out. You were like, I got this.
Well, you know, changing the color of those words allows the singer to kind of back off too. So, totally. You know, the penultimate.
Totally. And you do the most beautiful introduction to it because you're so back up. Like your balance of that opening phrase is so beautiful that I love seeing you stay in that very balanced place. Like, yeah, you're in your room, you're looking at the sky, we're under the same bright star, it's all good, I'm gonna win here, you know. Like, you just, it's cooler, and I love it. So a couple things about that. Will you say tu pure o principessa?
Tu pure o principessa.
Esatto. Will you sing that? Tu pure principessa. Just so everybody knows, sorry Darius, before you sing it, so everybody knows, pure here does not mean pure. It's not pura. It's not modifying the princess. It's pure, even you, yet still, even you. Pure is like an intensifier. So yeah, even you, let no one sleep. Even you, princess, you're not asleep. Yeah. I thought I heard an extra sound creeping in there. I want to make sure.
You know, it's ubao. It probably was.
I thought I heard tu pure ore. I thought I heard an R after the O, but show me I'm wrong.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Tu pure o principessa.
Yes. You want me to show you a trick for that? Yes. Trick for that is here, because O requires the doubling of the next consonant. O principessa. You get to double the P. Also, tu itself, being a strong pronoun, asks that you double the next consonant after that. So tu pure o principessa. You have a little extra P that you can give. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just so my piano teacher used to say, just so you, I'd say, what am I supposed to do with this accent? She'd go, nothing, just know that it's there, you know. So like tu pure o principessa, but it sort of keeps everything in the same place. Yeah.
Tu pure o principessa. I mean, I did it too hard, but it worked.
No, that's so good. And it also reduced the temptation to double the R inside the word pure. I mean, to roll the R.
Are we done on?
Save it for the principessa. Yeah.
Tu pure o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore.
Yes. I'm stopping you for, what do you think I'm stopping you for?
Is it the color? Is it guardi? Is it the word?
No, guardi è perfetto. Tremano. Guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore. In Italian, is not going to go tremano. That's when you were saying you were doing a little much with your jaw. I think that's what that was. I'm sorry, I'm yelling. Che tremano d'amore. And I think the sexy thing is that if you're saying the word tremble, but you're singing it smoothly, right? And then you give it the little frisson that an Italian always does when they go tremano d'amore di speranza. The da and the D get the little
Yeah.
What does that sound like?
Okay.
I have no idea what time it is right now.
Oh, she needs to go. Okay.
No.
Che trema.
Yes.
Che tremano.
No, keep it. Tremano. The hardest. Bravo. The hardest blessed thing to make in the entire Italian language is a single consonant between two vowels.
Man.
È difficile. E tremano d'amore.
Oh, that's opera. That feels very different. That feels very, very different. You know? Oh, wow. Cool. That works. Okay. That's opera. That felt very different. Sorry, Lucy.
Yes,
Sorry.
totally. Do the same thing on Silenzio, and I know we got to go on. That's opera. Yes. Darius Thomas.
Ed il mio. Ed il mio bacio scioglierò il silenzio.
That's it. One L. Use it. An L before another consonant is like a double. Il silenzio. Do you see how that's different from il silenzio? You don't want that. You want use the L before and then just go right through the way you did for tremano.
Okay, different one.
Yeah.
Ed il mio bacio scioglierò il silenzio.
You see what to do though. Il silenzio. Yes.
Yes.
Now just do che ti fa mia.
Overworking.
Yes. 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 Correct.
Che ti fa mia.
Yes. And you have the option because fa wants the double, right? Che ti fa mia. You have permission to M.
You're a great tenor.
You're a better one.
Working on it.
You are wonderful. And that is absolutely opera. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. See you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Maddalena mia. Okay.
Hello, hi.
Hello. There you are, Bella. We're gonna try an experiment, everybody. Okay. I have your sonnet.
La ricordanza?
Eh sì, esatto. Aspetta un attimo che ce lo faccio vedere. Ecco, questo è il sonetto, vero? Okay. When you get the poetry doc, everybody, the advanced exercise is a pop sonnet, right? It's you take a pop song or something you know and you turn it into a sonnet. A sonnet is 14 lines. The Italian version is quatrain, quatrain, tercet, tercet. So it's 4, 4, 3, 3. And that adds up to the 2 sevens that make 14, right? So when you look at what Madeleine is about to sing, which is a sketch for a very famous Elvira's Mad Singing Puritani, you're going to hear her singing 14 lines of, where's the letter of this, right? That's what a sonnet is. So it's 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3. And there's a logical development through the first 8 lines. And then the second 6 lines, that asymmetrical other half, take the idea and develop it in a slightly different direction. The Shakespearean sonnet we're going to see is a totally different thing. It's 4, 4, 4, 2. And there's a couplet that's almost like a gotcha at the end of the poem. The Petrarchan sonnet doesn't work that way. But yeah, you're gonna hear Madeleine singing 14 of these. And we can talk about this later when we have more time. I looked up the Propertius, the quote from the Latin that's before this. And it basically says, she will be, such will be the last who was my first faith. So I think it's some kind of comment on faithfulness in lovers. But would you like to read us the real sonnet?
I'd love to, yeah. Era la notte e presto di colei che sola al cor mi giunse vista sola, con quel pianger che rompe la parola, io pregava mercede a martir miei, quant'ella, this is the same word, quant'ella declinando gli occhi bei, disse, e il membrar lo sol me da me invola, pommi al cor la tua destra e ti consola, ch'io amo e te sol amo intender dei, poi fatta per amor, tremante e bianca, in atto soavissimo mi pose la bella faccia sulla spalla manca. Se dopo il dolce assai più duol l'amaro, se per me nullo istante a quel rispose, ah, quant'era in quell'ora il morir caro.
Oddio, Maddalena, che bello! Bello e triste. Can you give us an idea what it's about?
Yeah, so basically, this whole sonnet is a memory of a past lover. And in this, la ricordanza is a recollection. So basically, like the text creates this moment at night when they were together and parting.
Yeah, bello. I love that it's the thing about a sonnet that doesn't occur as much in opera, but because they were written by the people who had the same people who had the same education, the poet is able to do sort of rhetorical moves in a sonnet that it's harder to do when you're doing kind of narrative or dialogue. And so you have things like, put your right hand, right? Give me your right hand, put your right hand on my heart. Then she put her face on my left shoulder, so there's this back and forth, there's this symmetry in this moment, and it's representative of the whole tradition that is very beautiful. Se dopo il dolce assai più duol l'amaro, right? After the sweet, the bitter hurts more, so much more. Se per me nullo istante a quel rispose, so if for me, no instant responded to that one. Isn't that sort of like nothing that nice ever happened to me again? Like there was no further moment that could.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, that was everything. Yes, all right. Very beautiful piece. And you're going to recognize the tune immediately.
And so also I wanted to just say thank you to Lucy, who last night made me this wonderful recording so I could.
We don't know if it's going to work.
I think it'll work. I think we got it.
Bravissima, Maddalena. I almost forgot it had the amen at the end. Bravissima.
Grazie.
She's gonna leave us all in tears for the day. No, it's beautiful. Listen, this is why sonnets are hard to set to music, right? Because it looks so compact on the page, but each line is long. It's intellectually driven because it's full of these poetic conceits that like complement and contradict one another. It's essentially an academic, I mean, it's full of feeling, but it's still sort of an academic exercise, and it's long. It's just long. So how do you sustain that? I thought you did a beautiful job. You created an atmosphere. The piece doesn't pose any particular technical challenges for you. Like, you do it beautifully. So the sport of it is just, I think, seeing how much contrast you can continue to find.
Yeah, definitely.
Create between, and a lot of it is going to be either between blocks, and Bellini doesn't differentiate. I mean, he does some amazing moves in the music, but the basic texture doesn't really change. So yeah, you have
to be more dynamic emotionally and dynamic vocally.
Right. I'm reminded of a thing that when my roommate went to study with Doris Betts, she's a fantastic fiction writer, and she went to study with this famous Southern novelist in North Carolina. And Doris said, and Julie had submitted her stuff, and Doris said, well, yeah, all you need to do is just live more, like just keep living, you know? When I hear you sing this, I think of what Doris said to Julia, because you're doing all the right things and it's so beautiful. You just want to, I think, technically, here would be, with the very 1 minute that we have, my question to you is how can you get the quietest and tallest breath before every phrase with the least movements? Does that sound like a fair?
Yes, absolutely.
Sometimes, and the thing is, you guys, I know we've been singing for a year in our rooms. Like, it's hard to get bit, right? It's hard to.
I know. I really hope it didn't crack in the Zoom.
No, you sound gorgeous. When you're between phrases, I wonder if it gets a little, right? If it gets you to this place. And so my corollary question to that is, can you then make sure, because when your ah vowel is turned on in your middle, nobody does it better. Like, you have it absolutely beautifully balanced. So I want to see if that tallness should be a word in English. It just should. If that carries over to your other vowels as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense? If you started, if you just sing. Can you?
Oh, is it not open?
Can you do with the tonal over that whole step and not do anything here?
Okay.
Yeah. Love it. Presso di colei, giusto? Non mi ricordo.
Di di.
Esatto, però se tu dici veramente presso di colei, presso di colei, abbiamo le I, abbiamo anche le O.
Okay.
Presso di colei.
Okay. Presso
In the words of Darius Thomas, that's opera. Right? So then do presso di colei and then take that beautiful breath for the next phrase, and then I think we're probably out of time.
Ah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I don't need that breath.
That's
Okay.
beautiful. And again, that's just living. That's just doing more of what you're already, I'm confirming and encouraging what you're already doing.
Okay.
You change much.
Keep the position.
Oh, that everyone should know. I have two things. Everyone should know how beautifully, I mean, you all are doing this, but I just heard how well, when you slowed down, you let us hear that the small note was also vibrating, right? Because a lot of people go, presso di colei, and that makes them sound out of tune in famous opera houses all over the world. You were keeping it vibrating at the same rate, whether the note was long or short.
Oh, okay.
Brava, and brava Megan, and bravo Darius, because you all were doing that really well today. And then the last thing I want to answer is Julia asked at the beginning of class about the appoggiatura rule, right? Julia, are you still there? The appoggiatura comes on the last stressed syllable, which, because most Italian words have the piano pattern, which is what we call the feminine ending, bum, bum, the last stressed syllable is 90% of the time the penultimate syllable. So if the Italian ear does not want to hear two identical pitches on a stressed and unstressed syllable at the end of a phrase, and a phrase means the whole line or the component of the line, the appoggiatura comes on the last. It comes on the last stressed word then, right? It would be written ba-da-da-da-ba-ba 100 years before that. But we noticing da-da-da, the stress there, I want it. So that's what that is. Era la notte presso di colei. Da, 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 instead of da, 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 no, da, 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 da. We're back to what it was. Does that answer the question? Is Julia disappeared? But I think that was the technical question that I had seen in the chat that I wanted to get, because I know we're supposed to end. Now back to Ryan.
Julia's here. She said yes, thanks.
Oh, good, excellent. Okay.
Triple exclamation marks. So
yay! Yay!
Lucy,
thank you all so much. This is such a joy. I feel like I'm at the opera. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lucy. This is everything we all needed right now. You know it. I know. We all know it. So it's the perfect medicine. Thank you. Thank you.
Brooches, bows, and tiaras for Saturday.
Yes.
You guys are so opera. This is so beautiful. Thank you. And I'm sorry it's so fast. I just wish
it is. It was great. Oh, it's just wonderful.
We'll have another good chunk on Saturday. Oh, is Cheryl here too? Yay, Cheryl.
Congrats to Megan and Darius and Madeleine. Oh, just such beautiful artistry today.
So beautiful. I'm in awe of you guys. I mean, Cheryl and Vicky and I, we are representing hard from UCLA this morning because we've got like half the coaching staff here. Thank you so much. And we can tell you, we watch you guys sing in your rooms every day and we weep for you. And I can't believe how good you sound in the middle of all of it. Thank you. That just gives me life, literally. Thank you.
Thank you too. Thank you again, Lucy. No, I'm so glad you're in my life and everybody's life now.
It's wonderful. Can we figure out how to get everybody if you guys want to nerd out with me and write poems, because it's super fun, is it in a place where they have editing privileges if they click it? Or is it read only for them?
I think they can edit it, but
I think they can edit it. Okay,
your
cool.
permission in order to do so. So you might get a barrage of lovely emails, but yay.
I love it. It's like Christmas. It's so fun.
We'll work it out. But
okay.
Thank you to everyone who joined us here on Zoom and live on Facebook. We invite you to join us again this Saturday. January 9th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 to 2:30 Central Time for Lucy's
11 to 12:30 over here.
More of this, more of that.
Opera brunch over here in LA. Right. Vicky's asking, do we have to ask for an invitation to edit? I don't think so, but if you need to, or if you have any questions, here, email me right there. You have Ryan's email.
Yes.
And yeah.
Great. We look forward to seeing you.
Can't wait to see you again on Saturday.
Have a fabulous Thursday, everybody.
Grazie a tutti. Ci vediamo sabato. Ciao.